Hot Cock in Me.
And we're live. We are on air.
Live from the Sportique Studios, where it doesn't matter who Elway wants on the court, as long as he puts Romo on the field. You're in the South Stands. I'm Colin Daniels with producer Scott Stafford. Voted better than Vic Lombardi, Mr. Brandon Perna. And your host, John.
Salute to you out there watching us. Cheers, Brandon.
Mile high salute, everybody.
It's
Mile
wonderful to be here. We're doing
it's certainly a thrill.
We're doing a new thing, as you can see. We're live streaming this, and with Brandon's help, and we're gonna do a new kind of show here all together, and we're gonna bring that to you every week. Well, soon in the future every week. We're just trying it out right now to make sure that that everything's working. But we're going to bring it. It's going to be the only live and local show coming to you once a week. We're going to bring this to you guys, and I'm so excited to do this. So, Brandon, thanks for helping us out and getting this going with us.
Of course, I'm excited to talk about a whole bunch of shit here. And
buttholes, definitely going to be one of them.
Really, the show is going to be a lot about butts, as we've decided. It's the most popular topic.
People love butts.
I did a Twitter poll, and it was anuses.
Right.
Yep.
Came out on top.
What were the other choices?
Nipples. Nipples was one of them. Not very popular nipples.
That didn't win. I thought that would win.
It did not.
And chairs.
And chairs, yeah, custom made chairs. It's going to be great though. So we're going to do this week. We're going to see how this goes and get kind of work all the kinks out of it, and then we're going to talk about some kinks.
However, not going to work the kinky out of it.
And then we'll bring this to you every week, and it's going to be it's that same South Stands Denver fan cast you come to know and love, except it's going to be live and on video, and we'll podcast it too, so you can get it later if you can't do that. But now with more Perna, so that's
now with a lot more Perna. And it's funny. Last time we had Brandon in as a guest, I heard time and time again on Twitter, people, you guys have got to have Perna on more Perna. They asked for more Perna. You got more Perna. So from now on, Brandon Perna no longer a guest. You guys,
no, he's a part of the show.
When I hear stuff like that, it makes me really cocky, just for my ego.
Oh, is that what it takes?
Is that what it is?
What's weird too is I felt like I didn't do a good job last time I was here.
Oh no!
Well, you didn't.
Like,
I think we were all hoping to see you improve dramatically.
That's why we wanted this opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. We'll work with you.
No, but we were kind of talking about that, and then you're right. People were like, "Oh, you got to do more with Perna." I was like, "Way ahead of you, buddy. Can't talk about it now." But
the good news is we are streaming in a 4:3 aspect ratio for some reason. I don't know how to change that, but it looks like it is $19.99 on YouTube.
Wow, okay.
Which I think is maybe it's a good aesthetic for what we're doing.
$19.99 was for at least me and Colin was kind of our
it was
really poster. Our wheelhouse. So I think we peaked around then. So it's good.
I peaked around 1979.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, I was a good 8-year-old.
Well, this is going to be good because we're trying to figure this out. We're gonna take breaks like we did. We'll have some people do some reads, and then you might hear some off the cuff banter, which has always been the best part of the show. Is when we're not recording some of the banter. Now, some things get said that probably shouldn't be recorded, so probably have to watch ourselves. But we've had discussions with people where stuff came up and we were like, oh, geez, we should be recording this, So
many, many times. But but bear in mind though, that's only going to be available to those who are viewing the live stream. So the show is going to take the following forms. We're going to have the live stream on either Facebook Live or YouTube or both, possibly, and that will be at the same time every week. And then you'll have the podcast, which will come out kind of the next day. and then also probably YouTube videos of all kinds. So just kind of expanding the brand, as it were.
And the ultimate goal, live studio audience.
Oh,
That's right.
That'd be great. I know a lot of people would love to come sit and watch that.
An
That sounds
amphitheater
awesome.
of 100 people.
Hey, well, let's get into what we do best, and that's talk kind of vaguely about sports. And I want
Occasionally, 10%.
and I want to talk about that fascist John Elway.
Oh,
That's
my
what I want
God.
to talk about.
Oh, my God.
What a Nazi
He wants to
sympathizer.
take away a woman's right to choose.
Hang on a second. Here's
Bro.
here's the crux of the problem. He's endorsing
The crucifix of the problem, Jesus.
a conservative Supreme Court justice nominated by Donald Trump, and he's got the Broncos logo, boom, smack dab on it. Now, of course,
That was not company letterhead.
that's fine. But of course, they
I read Patrick Smythe's
of course,
tweet.
he jumped to it and said, not company letterhead. Okay, you got a huge Broncos logo. Down the left, it says John Elway, executive, blah, 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 the Broncos. It looks like a Broncos
It
letterhead.
has the Broncos corporate address on the
Yes.
side.
So it doesn't have his address, which would
no,
be his
that
letterhead.
would be his house. Yeah.
It's
it
weird.
would say the Elways. They would have a picture of their dogs. or
It's
something.
weird and kind of strange. I know he's a Republican. I know he's all into that. I totally fine with that.
I don't think he's just a Republican. I think he and Shanahan, they're like super
He's the
Republicans.
future governor of Colorado.
Yeah,
Oh,
but still, isn't it weird that, I mean, if he wants to endorse the guy, sure, fine. But having that Broncos logo, us all being Broncos fans, and despite your politics, you're kind of like, stick to sports, guy. Brandon, what do you think?
Well, I think what's strange to me is that I think he's gotten support for this, and
Sure.
he's gotten shit on for this. Now, the same people who tell me to stick to sports and shut the fuck up if I make a Donald Trump joke are the people now supporting him,
Of
saying
course.
he should be able to voice his opinion because he's John Elway. So what I think I really learned is you're okay with athletes or John Elway, these people voicing their political opinion as long as it is the same as yours.
Absolutely.
If it's not, that's when you have a problem with it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's when it gets weird, and that's when people get offended because they have this picture in their head of this person, and they think they could be best friends with them and that they would agree on everything. And when they learn that there's something there they might not see eye to eye on, they don't like
Well,
it.
take Mark Schlereth, for example.
Ah!
Big Christian guy, right?
Please.
So take Mark Schlereth, please. He's a big Christian guy, and his Twitter feed will get into Christian-y things. And
Well, on Sunday mornings, he's straight up. It's Bible quotes.
and that's
straight
fine.
up. Bible
And I knew that going into it. And it's not my bag, but I was like, you know what? This is what you get with Mark Schlereth. I like Mark Schlereth. He's a Bronco, and I think that when people get on him like that, it's the same thing. It's like, hey, dude, I didn't come here for Bible quotes. It's like, well, what are you doing here then? Get
Exactly.
the fuck out.
I mean, yeah.
It's like you knew what you're getting.
Oh,
so,
no. Yeah, and I get that myself on Twitter sometimes where somebody will like take offense to something relatively moderate that I said, and I'll be like, you don't even know who you're following, do you?
But here's the thing. With the Denver Broncos, which represents such a huge, wide spectrum of people, to have him, we know he was at the inauguration. We
and
know he's
already-
a Trump
yeah,
supporter.
and we knew he was a Bush supporter.
But-
he and Shanahan together organized something for George
But
Dove.
it would be like if he went with Trump to take medicine from sick children, and he was waving a big Bronco flag and kicking children like he did Jeff Morton a long time ago. So you don't want your beloved sports team. No, and that's the thing with sports is everybody can go, hey, I might think differently than you, but at least we have the Broncos, right?
it's church and state.
We found
Yes.
this one thing that we agree on.
Yes.
And it's this football team or this baseball team. We agree we are on this side and fuck all the other teams.
Yep.
Fuck everybody else against us.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. You're like, hey, we still have this. So when that happens, and Elway's waving a Bronco flag while implanting the spike of it into an old person's chest because he doesn't want to give him health care anymore, that to me is a problem because I'm like, I love the Denver Broncos. I don't want to see the beloved logo of the Broncos to be rammed up the ass of an old lady.
Well-
that's
Well,
how I
you know,
feel.
I wonder though, really, if it's fair to qualify his support for a Supreme Court nominee who is beloved by many, and he's a very pretty popular guy.
And he's a Colorado.
He's a Colorado.
He's a Broncos fan.
He is by all accounts.
Well, then he's all right in my book.
Whether you want him to be on the Supreme Court or not, he is by all accounts a wonderful man. So
Okay, I know nothing about him. All I know is that Trump nominated him, and
so
now
therefore guilt by association.
now the
he's a
Broncos
bad
logo.
guy.
Now the Broncos logo is
But
associated.
isn't Elway a walking Broncos logo?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he is the Broncos, and granted, if he wants to do that, that's great. I just object to having the logo be front and center.
And this has been boiling under the surface for years and years and years, and it took that letter in support of that Supreme Court candidate to really make people realize, yeah, man. I mean, these guys, the team is giving millions of dollars to candidates.
If
They give money to campaigns.
if they can guarantee me a Super Bowl win next year, then he can go and set fire to children's books and be like, tough shit, kids. And I can be like, yes, give me that Super Bowl. That's what I'm fine with it. But that's what I need. I need that promise of a Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, I think the thing that this is alluding to, right, is there's been rumors that Elway is going to run for office.
Of course he is.
He's either going to run for a Senate seat or a governorship, right?
There again, for years we've known this.
Now, here's the real problem.
Sorry, that's the real problem.
The real problem is indigestion. And I've been saying it for years. All right, so if Elway runs for one of those things, I'm not going to vote for him because I don't think I agree with his politics. Second problem is he's not going to run the fucking Broncos anymore, and that's the big problem.
That is the big problem.
If he runs the state like he runs the Broncos,
He'll make terrible draft picks.
yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
But his free agents are going to be awesome.
The city won't have a left tackle. So, like public transportation, none.
Well,
None at all.
I'm with you on that, Brandon, because I'm like, I don't. Oh, that's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah.
This is all. We're all experimenting tonight, man. We're all experimenting.
wow.
I agree with you on that. I don't share his politics. You're right. He won't be heading up the Broncos. I saw a lot of people mention this today, and everyone agrees that when you run for office, a lot of stuff gets dragged to the surface. And he's got a laundry list of things that people will probably start talking about and tarnish his very sterling reputation. We all know he's probably a dickhead. We know that
sure.
We know he knocked Jeff Morton down as a kid and bloodied him and then told his grandpa he didn't fucking care.
But that's all we really know, though.
I know a lot more, but it's all hearsay. We know that because Jeff told us that, and
There's
that
a lot
wasn't-
of hearsay.
That wasn't surprising based on the other things that I have heard. So, do you think he would risk that and say, you know what, I don't care that people are going to talk about me dealing with my ex-wife and all the booze I've drank and probably the DUIs that I got out of. Is he going to risk that?
No, I think when you've had as many blowjobs as that guy has had, you just kind of do what you want.
I think you do what you want.
Is that what convinces you can do anything?
Oh, sure.
It's just
no, there's a lot to be said for that because believe me, it says a lot more about you if you're a regular recipient.
Blowjobs, and I can.
Is 1,000? Is that the number?
100,000 is what I said.
100,000, you can pretty much do what you want.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just walking around, people can sense it.
I can't understand, I don't know. If I'm running the Denver Broncos, there is nothing out there that I need to do more than that.
Yeah.
You
Why
know
would
what
you
I
want to
mean?
do anything else?
I mean, I guess he's won Super Bowls as a player. He's got one as an executive. Maybe it's that whole needing a new challenge.
Why, but
sort of
dude,
thing.
why does anybody want to run for governor of anything?
I don't know.
It'd be awful.
What
I don't
kind of
know.
psychosis do you have to have?
You're gonna get-
It's a three-letter word. Starts with E, ends with O.
E-G-O?
That's the one.
Look at what Trump's going through and how he's just pissed off all the time and he's like this. Oh, I didn't want this.
Oh, he's miserable.
He's miserable, and that's what you get when you become a politician. Unless you're just a spineless piece of shit, like most of them who love it and they eat it up every day, like Ted,
Like
Cruz.
Mayor Hancock.
Oh yeah, all those guys. That's the kind of personality that likes that. But if you're a person who's used to being lauded and everyone loves, and then you get into that and everyone just shits on you, it's tough to handle.
Well, Lee Iacocca famously said that the reason people always asked him if he was ever going to run for president, and he said no, because when I say jump, I mean jump.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. Yeah. Guess what? We're already at the end of the first quarter.
Woo!
Yeah,
First quarter
we're,
down.
We're cruising through this, so we're gonna try to figure this out. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna take a little care of business. We're gonna read some ads.
I'll be sticking around right here.
He's gonna stick around right here. Everyone else can hang out, and then we're gonna jump right back into it. So hang out, and we'll be right back on it.
Thank you, Jake Stahl. Hey, everybody. If you watched That's Good Sports, you know by now CWHemp.com is a sponsor. They sell Charlotte's Web hemp oil, which I take every single day of my life. It has cured my erectile dysfunction. No, actually, nothing can cure that, to be honest. But it does have a lot of other benefits. I've used it for inflammation in my back when my back goes out. And as a 32-year-old man who is dealing with back problems at such a young age, I ask myself, why is my back going out? And I have not got a clear answer. But in terms of inflammation, the Charlotte's Web hemp oil has been great. I also take it for Alzheimer's prevention. There is research that suggests it can help with that. And there's a lot of evidence that shows it helps prevent and recover from concussions. So check it out, cwhemp.com. If you use my promo code, that's good, one word, that's good, you'll get 10% off of your order. And, if you don't go there and use my promo code, well,
you suck. You suck.
What the fuck?
You got no sympathy for a person like that.
What the fuck?
You deserve to hurt.
There we go.
Best plug.
By weighing in on a Supreme Court nominee, did John Elway trigger more snowflakes than the Avalanche control crew? He already overturned Wade. Does John have to come after Roe too?
That one's good.
Is Elway's loyalty to Trump like his loyalty to Janet or his loyalty to whiskey? Has the FBI looked into Russia's potential influence on Super Bowl 50? If I stole a joke from Reedy, would he go all Bill Simmons on me?
Talk about that next.
Even if they miss the playoffs, will the Nuggets continue to build around their big three? Coulda, woulda, and shoulda. Is Emmanuel Mudiay like a broke T-Mobile customer? Can't buy minutes. Does Nene look like what Kenneth Fareed would if he weren't a tranny? When Fareed, come on, guys, Fareed's a tranny. That shit's hilarious. When Fareed gets upset about his lack of playing time, does Danilo Gallinari make him feel better by saying, "You can pee next to me, Kenneth"? Jesus. If Dick and Charlie Montfort currently give Denver its best chance at a championship, is it an indicator of the end of times? You have questions. We have answers. Just not funny ones. This is Colorado's finest international internet sports talk since 1971.
I won't take all that they hand me down and make out I smile though I will frown. And I'm not gonna take it all lying down.
We're
Cause
working
once
up
I
to
get started, I go to town.
What in God's name is this?
I'm not like everybody else.
We're working up the kinks.
I'm not like everybody else.
Speaking
I'm
of
not
that
like everybody else.
Speaking of that line,
Not like everybody else.
since 1971, didn't you say Bill Simmons ripped that off from him?
Well, I didn't say that. I said it's weird. He's got this thing now. They've been our number one sponsor since 1971 or something like that.
So, if you're unaware of what happened, just the other day, I think 2 days ago, Bill Simmons tweeted at or to Jonah Carey who is, if you know, is a wonderful baseball writer. Lives here.
Been a guest of ours. Right
Was
here
a
on
guest on
Friend
the
of the
show.
podcast here, yes.
Friend of the podcast. Oh, he's on once, but he said he'd come back anytime. Maybe that's bug him.
That counts. That counts.
Internationally known baseball writer, has written several books. Really cool dude. Well loved, mind you. Like, well loved and respected by everyone. And he is doing this thing for I think he's writing for CBS. I think, is it SI? I can't remember.
SI. Yeah.
And it was the trade value thing, and he took Simmons. It was Simmons' idea, and he was using it with the NBA. And there was a quote where it said, and Bill was gracious enough to let me do this. This was a while ago. And Simmons said something like, "Hey, Jonah, you write for somebody else now. You can't use that idea."
You want the exact quote?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
He said, "Jonah, we don't work together anymore. You can't just take my trade value idea/format and write it for another website. It's not yours." Or it could be read like, "Hey, Jonah, we don't work together anymore. You can't just take my trade value idea/format and write it for another website. It's not yours. JK."
So do you think it's a JK, or do you think it...
Well, that's the debate, right?
Yes.
Some people think it's like an inside joke thing, and then a lot of other people think Bill Simmons is just a dick and he's being a dick online.
Well, Colin Cowherd says he's a dick, which I really found interesting. He said, "Won't return my phone calls, won't return my emails."
It's Colin Cowherd.
Ever since he left ESPN.
I don't think I'd return Colin Cowherd's
I certainly would.
phone calls. But it's funny, and we all get kind of, and this is kind of what we'll probably talk about, because it's more sports culture media-esque, so we can bring up things like this. It's an interesting thing because everyone kind of goes ooh, but
and it's so not Bill Simmons-y.
It's
right.
petty.
I mean,
it's really
it doesn't,
petty.
It
It's
doesn't
very petty.
seem like, it doesn't seem like the Bill Simmons that I've been a fan of for years and years.
Now, I understand that, because anytime, and I just brought that up with him using the 1971 thing. I ate a huge thing of pasta, and I'm drinking this Coors Light, and I'm just trying to belch it out. And I'm sorry. Hopefully,
This is nothing new.
this is nothing new, but it's
It's just the first time you've streamed your gaseous vapors live.
Thanks for tuning in for
on
our
the
health
internet.
tips.
yeah. So it's especially bad.
Pasta
tonight,
and
so.
beer.
So I'm trying to get.
If you ever wanted to do a podcast with a guy who burps a lot, John's your guy.
You came to the right fucking
I'm right. I'm
place.
right.
Talented motherfucker.
I think that Bill Simmons has not done himself any favors recently, and he's kind of a lot of people rip on him. Now, Colin, you and I both think he's great. He's obviously, when I first started reading him, he was an inspiration, because I was like, oh, this guy just came out of nowhere and just started publishing his own thing, and he became successful. And having done that, doing my own thing and trying to put stuff up on your own, that is something to be admired. And so I've always looked up to him. I thought he's great. Lately, with his his failed HBO show and all that stuff,
he's in a rough patch.
He's in a rough patch. So I think, is he lashing out? So then I go,
That's exactly what I think.
he's lashing out. But I think, why Jonah Carey, who I've already stated is well loved, well respected. It's weird.
Pretty much nobody doesn't like him.
It's true. It's true.
So it's jealousy, really. It's a jealous thing.
It just seems like maybe Bill is rubbed a little raw right now, because his last several projects haven't been successful, and his greatest project of all, 30 for 30, belongs to ESPN, not to him. And that's the case with so much of his great content. It's all theirs.
Perhaps he sees Jonah as the new Bill Simmons, and he doesn't like that.
I don't doubt that whatsoever.
Let me bring this back. I was going to say local, but Captain Bronco isn't local, so we can't say totally.
That's
local.
right. No,
But
I think he's still watching.
I hope so. And if him and I start going at each other, it's just kind of a natural thing. He's had people go like, "Hey, is everything cool? What's up?" and it's like, "Nah, we're just fucking around." But it could be that. I don't know. But it's fascinating, and I think that now that Jonah is a Denverite, I feel much more protective of him.
Well, but now I want to. Okay, what else? What happened with the last time we talked about Jonah? It was the fact that he had tweeted that Tony Romo was in Denver. So what happened with that?
Yeah, he got.
What
a
happened
lot
with
of
that?
shit for
That was him?
That was him.
That was him. Yeah.
Oh,
And so-
when he was at the Mavs game instead?
Yeah, and he was at the Mavs game. So all the self-righteous radio dudes in town got very upset and were like,
So maybe Bill's not the only one hitting a rough patch.
ooh, that could be.
Captain Bronco said, "Fuck you, John," by the way, in the comments.
And that's also that's good too. Is I think if we get that instant feedback, and then we get that instant feedback about what we're doing here. So.
I'm supposed to be on his podcast tomorrow. So.
Oh boy, he
That'll
can
be
see.
good.
He can see this.
You can't do this
Oh
anymore.
no!
So-
That's right. We're it's video now.
So
Oh,
if you're saying something heartfelt about Jesus and I'm rolling my eyes, people can see it. You know what I mean? So
Hey, Captain Bronco, just pay attention to the one person not talking shit about you right now. That's all I'm saying.
that's all he's saying. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting stuff. But I long for the next chapter. I know there won't be. I know they'll just cool it and everything like that. But remember when Simmons went after or he made fun of Chris Collinsworth? And Collinsworth snapped back at him real quick.
Yeah.
And everybody just like piled on. It was like,
Yeah, because
But then Collinsworth came on his show, and it was a great freaking podcast.
Collinsworth burned him pretty good, right?
Oh, yeah.
On
Yeah,
his
he
tweet.
toasted him
he
good.
said
About
something
his
like, "Why
failed-
don't you talk about it on your show?"
So-
Yeah,
wait, you don't
that's
have one, right? Yeah.
So I think and it's funny because you'll come up with a phrase or you'll come up with something and then like someone starts saying it and it's kind of like if it's established that
That's been happening to you for
it
years.
happens to me all the time. But it's like if it's established that a person did this, like let's say you came up with something and it's established that it's yours and other people are doing it or saying it or
If ESPN starts giving out Big Dick Player Awards, I'm going to raise hell.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
yes, of course, because they will not recognize you. Okay,
That's right.
So, but it's something. If you had somebody that you've worked with before, and they just said, hey, I'm going to be doing this for NBA guys or whatever, and a lot of big dick awards in the NBA. I'm pretty sure.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
100% award ratio.
Oh, we can't make the awards fast enough. So, but if it's somebody
I bet Plumlee has a weirdly small penis, though.
yeah, it might.
Weirdly small.
But if you have something that you're doing, and somebody else, it's like you say something funny and someone else starts saying it, it's kind of established.
I'll give you an example of that. This morning, the Rockies, an account called Rockies Roster tweeted, Terry McClure released today by the Rockies. And I retweeted it, and I said, you might know him from such rosters as... Everyone knows that's from The Simpsons.
Troy McClure.
Yeah. So.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I think, for me, it would be about a money thing, right? And I think Bill Simmons has made enough money where he doesn't need to worry about shit like this.
No.
So, and also, I think there's a whole area where you can't really copyright formats,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't have much to complain about. He got credited for it. So unless it was actually a joke, it seems like a super petty thing to say. If I ever get paid $5 million a year for at least 1 year, I don't think I'm going to be complaining about much after that ever again. That's just my humble
One
opinion.
check, goodbye.
When you get that first taste, though,
It's the chasing the bigger things,
yeah,
right?
chasing
It's
the
back
dragon.
to all LA going for one, maybe doing politics.
Absolutely.
It never ends.
Here's a perfect example. During the Broncos season, I did the worst Bronco fan bracket, right? And so I started doing it, and so some of the Rockies guys were like, "This is awesome. I want to do it." And I said, "Fuck yeah, go for it." And so they're doing theirs right now for kind of Rockies Twitter and Mile High Report.
Oh, so when I voted for you, was I voting against you?
No, you're voting for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you
thanks.
Did you make it?
No, I lost. Thanks, guys. Yeah, you know what? Brandon retweeted. You did not. You could have gotten me a lot more.
Did I
votes.
pull a Ryan Edwards on you?
Yeah, you did. So,
I should have mentioned it on the show. That could have got you the vote.
it's okay. It's okay. It's over and done with now. Brandon's in the middle of is in the final two, right? You're in the final two.
I'm in the last round.
You're in the last
I
round.
faced Terrell Davis on Monday.
Which I think you can get him. I think you can get him.
Oh no, TD he's a Hall of Famer, man.
don't
but
know,
is he
man.
the
If you
best?
beat it-
Is he the best media
No,
personality?
not at all. We barely
He
see
shouldn't
him.
even be the finalist in the media category, to be honest.
Strong argument there. Yeah.
He is TD, probably, maybe one of everybody's favorite Broncos. Nice guy, beautiful smile, always said the right thing. Tragically had his career cut short, but he's going into the Hall of Fame. He can give me this one
He
win.
can give you that one thing.
And I did get more votes than him in this last round. A lot of people are going to jump ship.
If you
but I'm
vote for
gonna make
Brandon, you're
a strong-
racist. That's all there is to it.
Listen, we're going to circle back to that because we're already at another break. We're going to circle back to that because we want to talk about that. I was just going to say that
This time I am pissing, by the
That's
way.
fine. Okay,
This-
are you-
I
okay,
am,
good.
I am going to piss this time.
But anyway,
even though it's
you know
my
what?
turn to
You know what?
read.
Listen, if it's friendly and everyone's like, "Hey, go ahead, take this idea or expand on it," it's totally cool. So we're gonna take a break, and I don't know, we're gonna do a read or
I
somebody's
think
gonna piss or something.
take a break, do read, and I'll try to answer some of the questions coming in here
Oh, great.
until
Do
you
it
guys get
because
back.
I got to stop this and save it anyway. So let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. I don't want him to start yet.
All right, Mike's back up.
This is. Do we want to keep this in the same number, or are we starting over?
Same number.
Same number. Okay. Let me do this real fast because I know something will fucking go wrong. 248.
And I've been calling it the South Stand Show, for lack of a better.
That's fine.
That's yeah, it works.
Show 248. 248 coming up on 250.
Damn.
So, Brandon, I thought your biggest competitor was Vic, and you took him down, and you took him down by really pointing out that he truly may be a member of ISIS, which I
Yeah, it was really cool. He, sent me
Okay,
that
so
shit.
we're still recording live, correct?
yeah.
Okay. You're about to do a read. So I'm going to do that, and then I will hit record, and
No one wants to take a break? Are we going to go straight?
he's
back
going to
into
take a
sports?
whiz, and then we're just going to dick around.
I'm going
until he
to
comes
do the
back.
read, then whiz. He's
then-
going to read questions.
I'm going to try to answer some questions.
Yeah.
here
From
while he's,
Nice. Okay.
yeah.
so you
So-
can just after that.
Which I like that. That's a nice
Go.
touch.
Yeah.
And then you come up with another song when he comes back.
Sportique is where scooters come from, and this weekend is your opportunity to save big. Get yourself a scooter up to 40% off certain models. It's the spring cleaning sale at 160 South Broadway. Sportique scooters, where scooters come from. Da-da-da-da-da.
Sorry, I hit the mic and my
All right,
fucking
so
headphones fell off.
we're in the break right now. Colin's gonna whiz. He comes back up. We're gonna jump into the third quarter. So while we're waiting for him to take his excruciatingly long whiz because he's got an enlarged prostate,
We're going to answer some questions,
Answer some
right?
questions, yeah.
Okay, so the first one, what other free agent options are at tackle? None. There are no other left tackle
Take
free
it, John.
free agent options.
I think they would have probably signed one by now, right?
Right. Maybe if somebody gets hurt, I think they sign somebody that's still available. The big thing everybody's hoping for is a trade. I don't think that's going to happen unless they don't get Tony Romo. Then maybe they make a big trade.
I wonder if Jay Cutler can play guard.
He could bulk
He's a
up.
big boy.
He's a big guy. He's a big guy.
He's got the demeanor for it.
Yeah.
I think you're right though. They're got to do a trade because there's nobody really left. They
Right.
pretty much picked the bones.
It's interesting that they didn't, I think, pursue a left tackle early and hard. That's what I would have done. I would have tried to make that the priority. And maybe they did. We don't have all the information. We are the outsiders. The other question is, Brandon Marshall seems to get injured a lot. Is there a clear middle linebacker if he goes down again? I think
I was trying to make a joke about Brandon Marshall, the other Brandon Marshall, but I can't remember where he went. He went
He went to Baltimore.
He went to Baltimore. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay, so never mind. Bad joke.
Bodymore Murderland, where he's going to get cut
No, he went to the Giants.
by a knife.
Oh, yeah, he
you're
did
right.
go to the
Yeah,
Giants.
you're right.
Whoa, you were way off.
I'm way off. Who went to the?
See, Brandon, this is why we shouldn't do this live, is
Oh,
because
boy.
all of the ignorance. Is
I'll
gonna
fact
come-
check. I'll fact
Thanks.
check you guys. The only thing I know about is Broncos. We start talking Nuggets, I'm just going to be quiet. The Browns are never letting go of Joe Thomas, but I don't think Joe Thomas ends up here. I think his agent Peter Schaefer, who lives in Denver, just said he's told him Denver's a nice place, and Joe Thomas said, "Yeah, I like the mountains," but I don't think that is a hot lead.
But a hot lead. Why? He doesn't think this is a place he can win.
No, I don't think the Browns are going to let go of Joe Thomas.
So, and I thought about this the other day. How old's Joe Thomas? I mean, he's probably got what as a
He's early 30s.
yeah. So he doesn't have much time left, right? So before the Browns will never be good. But before they could even make any strides, it's going to be